Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to all of you joined us today. We are in day 3 of our virtual orientation sessions. It is my pleasure to welcome you. My name is Michelle Meredith. I am the department head for the Department of Special Education. As we settle into today's agenda, it is our custom at the institution to prepare ourselves and our thoughts by settling our ideas, our thoughts, our perspectives, and our planned agenda before Almighty God. I am going to invite at this time the Guild of Students to lead us in this afternoon's devotion.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to start off this evening by singing a prayer chorus. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this broken vessel. You desire to abide in the presence of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. The Bible verses that we will be using tonight, or this evening, sorry, are 1 Samuel 16, verse 6 to 7, and 1 Samuel 16, verse 12 to 13. When they arrived, Samuel took one look at Eliab and thought, surely this is the Lord's anointed. But the Lord said to Samuel, don't judge by his appearance or height, for I have rejected him. The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Verse 12 to 13. So Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome, with beautiful eyes. And the Lord said, this is the one, anoint him. So as David stood there among his brothers, Samuel took the flask of olive oil he had brought and anointed David with the oil. And the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David from that day on. Then Samuel returned to Ramah. From these verses, we can be encouraged that God does not look for the biggest, the brightest, or the strongest. He doesn't look for what man may see as the best, but he looks at our hearts. We can see that because in this chapter, God sent the prophet Samuel to seek out a king at the house of Jesse, where Samuel expected God to choose one of the older sons, but no. God chose David, the youngest son, the one that no one expected to be chosen, but God anointed him as king. So, from these verses, we can be encouraged, even in our school lives, not to sell ourselves short because of our outward appearance, where we come from, or what we may have done in life. If God chose David, the one no one expected to be king, how much more us? A lot of us may think that we are not worthy of certain things or position because of where we come from. But I want to encourage you all. For this school year, do your best to not think of yourself any less than others and do all you can to succeed because you have been anointed and appointed for this journey at the Mico. Can we please bow our heads and pray? Lord God, as we come before you this evening, we'd like to thank you for bringing us here. I ask you, God, to cover us under your blood, cover our hearts and our minds. Help us to focus on what will be said today. Lord God, help us even in our journey at the Michael, Lord God, to be reminded that we have been anointed and appointed for this journey. Help us to stay focused on you, not only our academics. Lord God, help us, keep us, guide us today. I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Ms. Duffus. And as I said earlier when we just started, this is our third virtual orientation session. And today's session is going to be mainly focusing on student life at the Mico. Let me welcome all of you who have joined, whether you are already members of the Mico community or you are our dear and precious incoming students. We welcome you heartily to this continued exposure to the Mico University College. This is going to be your home for the next 4 years, and we intend to make it so that during this week we would set for you a solid foundation of your understanding. Why is the Mico the Mico? There are lots of persons who would want to suggest that they could apply the term the to their institution's name. But you will hear very shortly why it is that we do say the Mico. You will also come to understand why very often you hear references about the noble institution and the noble profession. You will be hearing why it is that those of us who are part of this institution, those of us who have actually walked the corridors of the Mico, still hold it with quite pride, sorry, with dear pride. And we understand what it is that we came out of. We understand the benefits of having walked the halls of this institution. We're going to hear from others. For example, you just heard from Ms. Duffus from the Guild of Students. You're going to hear from the other Guild members very shortly. I want to, however, allow you time to settle, whether you're driving home, whether you have just got home and are settling and have just joined us, or whether it is that you have long since been waiting for today's presentation. I'd like to invite now to the platform the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Mr. Rudolph Sewell, and he will be sharing with us the history and culture of the Mico. Sit back, listen, take notes if you have to, but ensure that you are keenly listening to what is going to be said, because you will want to hear, you will want to remember, you will be reminded. But today is the day for you to set the foundation, take your notes, and settle yourself into being a part of the Mico. Mr. Sewell, welcome. Sir? Hello.
Okay, good afternoon, Dr. Meredith. Good afternoon, students. We had a little technical difficulty in terms of our service provider and the bandwidth, and that is why you sort of lost us for a little moment there. While we get some of the background work done, I would like to join in extending very special welcome to our new students to the MICO. You have not just signed up to attend a school. I hope you recognize by this that you have signed up to a noble profession, the teaching profession. And since this school is to prepare you for that profession, then we want to talk a little bit this evening about some of those expectations. I'm also aware that you're from schools, maybe you've gone to primary schools, secondary schools, and each of those schools would have been a community with its unique history, a community with its unique culture. And so part of the orientation into the MICO is for you to recognize that MICO is also a community. And in this community, we have a history that we're proud of. We have a culture that we encourage, and we have certain traditions which we hold dear. So while orientation is to help you to register, orientation is to help you to settle and get your timetables, those will be taken care of. And in fact, what has not been done yet, surely when you come in on Friday, you'll go to your department and get those things done. But in this session today, we're going to deal with some of the non-academic but very important matters that you need to address and to be aware of as students. All right? Now, my presentation today is on the history and the culture of the Mico. The Mico University College was founded through the efforts of what is called the Lady Mico Trust. The Lady Mico Trust is registered in London, England. And so even today, we have trustees in England and at least one locally who are advocating and ensuring that the institution remains sustainable. But how did we come by the name Mico? And how is it that there is a trust in England that would have funded the startup of this institution? The trust was named after Lady Jane Mico, but the history goes back a little bit further. The man with the money was a man by the name of Samuel Mico, a wealthy merchant. He was in the shipping business. He was part of the East India Company, and he was a philanthropist. And so Samuel Mico was the man with the money and a philanthropist. He fell in love with Lady Jane, and of course, Lady Jane, inherited much of that wealth. All right? So we're getting into the history again. Remember, every school that you have been to, you would have known some things about the school. There are certain traditions that you have. We start to name the schools, you'll tell me about them. And that is the spirit of the Mico as well. All right, so Lady Jane was married to Samuel, and she inherited. Samuel Mico, there's a little controversy because if he was part of a shipping company, then he might have been part of the slave trade. So some of us say, somehow we are benefiting from that in terms of the setting up of Mico. All right. So he has a tradition of philanthropy, and Lady Jane inherited it. The records had it done beautifully. Lady Mico left money to multitudes of relations, distant cousins, poor widows of London, and also she had interest in the redemption of Christian slaves. And so that was her history. But there's a very exciting, perhaps interesting part of her legacy. In trying to keep the tradition of family, and those of you who have done European history would recognize that a lot of things were kept by distant cousins and so in the family. Not right, but that was a tradition. She had a particular nephew that she wanted to marry a particular niece. And if he did, he would get a good amount of money. But the young man declined the offer. This money stayed unclaimed for many years. In fact, it ran up to over £100,000 by 1830. But some other, about persons were advocating for the abolition of slavery. And one of those men, Sir Thomas Fowell Buxton, learned about this money that was put aside. And so they campaigned to get this money to be used towards the abolition of slavery. By the time it came through, though, slavery was abolished, the Emancipation Act had passed. And they said, you know something? What is it we could do for these countries within the British Empire? And yes, there were problems in Britain at the time, but they looked outward. And so you will learn a lot about Sir Buxton as you go through Mico. He was a member of the House of Commons in the British Parliament, and he was a solicitor. So what he did was to get the proceeds from these funds to be used in the education of the newly freed people, or some people say the formerly enslaved and their children. Out of the Lady Mico Trust, a number of institutions were set up. Some of them were teacher training institutions. They were called normal schools. and you also had hundreds of elementary school. But why is it that we're so proud here at 1A Marisco Road? Of all the teacher training institutions which were established in the Caribbean and in Africa, this is the only surviving one. This is the Mico in Kingston, Jamaica. It tells about resilience. It tells about the quality students we have had over the years. It tells about the staff. It tells about the culture. It tells about the tradition. And as you go there, more and more, you're going to meet people who have been through these walls, and you'll understand what is it we're talking about. Remember how we started. We are not just coming to a school. You have signed up for a profession, and you have come to the best place to be prepared for that profession. Mico was located on Hanover Street. Those in Kingston and the environment will know where you have Kingston Technical High School. And it is now here at 1A Marisco Road since 1894. We have original buildings on the campus. We do have a lot of modern buildings, but we have the original buildings. As you come in, Kelvin Lodge, you'll get a good tour on Friday. We have the cottage, and we have the lovely Buxton building. This would be the view from Marisco Road, right? And that is the lovely quadrangle. Our moderator has a backdrop there too as well. All right, this is not the sum total of the Mico buildings, but this is part of the protected buildings, the heritage. This was the original college. I have met men who used to live upstairs and go to school downstairs. And so this is part of that rich culture that we seek to maintain. But we had calamities. So for example, when you do your tour, you will notice two plaques, dates on the Buxton building, and one of them indicates that portion of it was destroyed by earthquake in 1907 and was rebuilt in 1911. Beautiful site, the Buxton Tower. Sir Thomas Fowell Buxton was honored, though posthumously, and there's a bust under the Buxton Tower, and there's a very interesting reading. When I was a student, we had to memorize this, but it's something that you need to go through. It's a quote that tells about what it is that make us as resilient individuals, what distinguishes us from other categories of animals. It is about the whole matter of, energy, and how we apply that. So make it a decision that during your sojourn at the Mico, you'll go to the tower and you will take a little picture of this extract. Mico developed over the years. And again, we're doing the history. I know you want a timetable. I know you want to be registered, but you have to be part of a community. It's very important. So Thomas Buxton, he campaigned and legislated, one of our founders. We had some others, and I'm selecting these pioneers for a reason. You had a gentleman by the name of Lushington, Sir Stephen Lushington. He was the man who drew up the legal documents and so on for the trust. There was the Bishop Enos Nuttall, a bishop in the Anglican Church in Jamaica. He chaired the Mico board through some very difficult times. We had Reverend E.B. Rogers, who was also a chairman of the board. And favorite tutor was a gentleman called Arthur Grant. Now, why did I choose those? At Mico, we operate a house system. A house system in a college? Yes. What is the purpose of the university college? We are preparing people with the competencies to function as teachers in our system. And so when you go into the high school and primary school system, the competitions, the intramural competitions are run on the basis of houses. And therefore, what we do at the Mico is to expose all our students to this sort of dynamics. So when you go out there, you're not lost. So guess what? If you take a poll across the schools, who are the house masters out there? These are the Miconians, because while you're at Mico, we have the house system. We do have a very strong intercollegiate sports program. You'll hear about that on Friday. We are champions in many areas, but we cherish the intramural, and so the house spirit is very high. All right, so Arthur Grant, color green, Bishop House, color purple, Buxton, yellow, Lushington, blue, and Rogers, red. All right, I won't tell you which is mine right now. That would be unfair advantage, but look forward to that system. And you see, when you come to the Mico, as you participate in the houses, look for certain things. You are learning how to lead when you get out there. That's the key. When you get involved here and you go into the school system, you're going to lead. You're going to get your students excited. They're going to understand that you're not just a math teacher and a biology teacher and a chemistry teacher and an industrial tech teacher or home ec teacher or whatever it is, special educator. You're someone who is interested in their welfare and you ensure their holistic development. All right. So we name our houses at Mico in honor of some of those pioneers. Over the years, and history can be boring, but remember now, we want to understand the institution in which we're functioning as good as we understand our high schools. Initially, it was elementary school teachers because coming out of slavery, the main thing was basic education. Most of the teachers came from England at the time, the tutors at Mico. Youngsters came in with their suitcases, all right? There's a little word we use for it called dulcimina from a serial that used to be on the radio. So people come in. We are marketing to you now. In those days, it was highly competitive. People would come in and spend a week, and they're tested over the week, and those who cannot make it will have to go back home. We don't do that to our students now. But Michael was preparing teachers for the elementary schools. Then there was a time in Jamaica when we had some schools called junior secondary. They were 7 to 9, grade 7 to 9. Many of them have been transformed to high schools. So if you know Spanish Town and St. Mary Technical, which was Richmond, and Holy Trinity and Balaclava and all those schools, St. James, they were initially junior secondary schools. And so Michael responded by training those. I attended the Richmond Secondary at the time, and one of my Myconian teacher, we just went to honor him the other day, strong and bright and in good health and good mental capacity still. So I was impacted at one of those schools. But as government expanded secondary, Michael started to train people right through from early childhood right through to the end of secondary. But very important, and it's not just to boast about, but it's its significance. When I was growing up, we had persons in our communities who didn't operate the way we did. We had all kinds of names for these people. We despise, we probably didn't treat them well. The country took a decision, late 60s going into 70s, that we must do something about persons that are different, or persons are differently abled, or persons that are special. And guess where? When they got the funding out of the Dutch government, they chose Mico as the place for special education. For two things. One is to have a center for the assessment and for research and for treatment and so on, and interventions for persons, with certain challenges. But also we started a special education program for teachers where we're training the entire Caribbean and beyond. And we are still doing that. So that is one of our bright spots in terms of our history. So when you speak special education, you speak Mico. In those early years, I understand in way back, they used to have diplomas, but for most part, there were certificates. In 1984, we upgraded to diploma. And I can wear my stripes here because I was a member of that 146 batch, which was the first group of students in modern time to have studied for a diploma at the Mico. We were the first ones to remain in college at the time for 3 years. All right. So Mico stepped up. But where are we now? A range of graduate, undergraduate, and pre-university program. And we are institutionally accredited. What does that mean? It means that we have been authorized by the University Council of Jamaica to develop programs, to deliver programs, to assess, to certify students. And every 5 years, they come to check our systems and processes and policies to see if we are maintaining the standard. All right. So it's like we have been given a driver's license, but we have to be tested. And how did we get that? It is because of the quality of our systems, the quality of our programs. Yes, we have gaps where technology, keeping up with technology and so on is very difficult and expensive. But the fact is that we have solid programs. When you step out there with a Mico certification, you have an advantage. Not only because of the academic side, but also of the other cultural aspects we're talking about, such as your involvement in the inter-house and the sports and the culture. So that's where we are. But we have a dream, and we're going to share it to you as young Myconians coming in. Our dream is that that little word college on the fence will be erased, and we will be the Mico University under the Mico University Act. And that is what we're pursuing at this time. And we're happy to have you, especially in the 190th year, and you will be part of that journey with us as we try to raise the status of the institution. The Mico has a motto, and the motto is, do it with thy might. It did just come, drop out of the sky. It actually comes from a particular Bible text, Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 10. The King James Version renders it as such: whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. That is the motto. And so, with thy might comes in our crest and so on. Right? The Mico has a pledge for its students. The Mico has a pledge for its students. And just remember, you have signed up for a profession. And the institutions charged with the preparation of the teachers are called the gatekeepers of the profession. All right? And so the whole idea of a pledge is not just a college pledge, it's a personal pledge for how we think we should operate as Myconians. It starts out by asking our students to promise something. And it is that the student will obey rules and submit to discipline, right? No teacher can be indisciplined. And if you think of what is happening in the society, as a teacher, your level of discipline has to be above students. And what I mean by discipline, we're not just talking about whether or not one can yield to a current trend. It's not about wearing suits. Discipline is about following the established order and the expectations. I often say to my students that whenever they're walking down the Maresco Road, they are seen as ordinary persons until they turn in through the Mico gate. You would be surprised, students, of the expectation, the high expectations that persons have of teachers. The only way we can guarantee that our teachers going out there will exhibit that discipline is to have you while you're in the institution to obey the rules and to submit to the discipline. And as I said, it's more liberating than constraining. It's more a matter of getting you to understand what is expected of you as a professional. I know many of you have your teachers in high esteem. Many of you, if you see a teacher at a party, You get a little, antsy. You don't expect teacher here because teacher doesn't party. So let us not fool ourselves about modern times and expectations. Teachers are still expected to keep the order, the established order. So a part of that pledge, which each student will know and will recite at what we call the matriculation service, is to promise to obey the rules and to submit to the discipline. What is good here at the Mico is that we have student government, and later we will meet what they call this guild, the guild of students. So the discipline we are talking about, it's not just a matter of staff and president imposing. It's a collective decision, and students have a say in terms of doing changes over time in terms of relevance. So it's a community in which we expect our students to obey the rules, submit to the discipline, not just to be proper in college, but as a practice to be a professional out there in the system. The second stanza of that pledge speaks about how we conduct ourselves. And again, I challenge any of you. When you look back at your secondary school experience, you may find a few teachers who will say, well, boy, them nice and we're all right. But the question, some of them are friendly, but there are those that you hold in high esteem and those for whom you have the respect. So it's a promise that your appearance and conduct, not only when you're in the college, but when you're outside, each of you will be an ambassador. So I am not here making judgments about what is current trend in dress and so on, but I'm saying we have a responsibility, and it is something we ask our students to pledge to, that our parents, our conduct, both inside and outside, will be such as will enhance the ICE traditions, will maintain the culture of the institution. One of the things we want you to do when you get to the Mico is to grow. It's interesting. I've spent 37 years here on staff, and it's interesting to see the developments. It's interesting to see the different programs that have been introduced, even the different sporting events, the different clubs, the different societies, the different leadership styles and strategies, the different intervention projects by students, community involvement. So we are not expecting you just to come and say, okay, I am going to just go by what is established. Part of the promise is to be innovative, is to be creative, is to be strategic, is to be visionary. And it says that you will do all that is in your power to raise the standard of the college. Unless people think it's just academic, it's about our conduct as well as in work and games. The fourth stanza of that pledge speaks to our relationship with each other. We have to build each other, students. We don't have what we call a norm referencing assessment here. Norm referencing is somebody will come first, only one person can come first at 100%, one comes second at 95. That's not it. It's criterion. So if the entire batch makes first class honors, that's fine. If the entire batch can go out with the best recommendation, that's fine. What we want to do is to ensure that in order to look good, we don't let somebody else look bad or keep them down. And so this is something I had never forgot from 1984. I promise that I will never by word or deed try to lower the standard of any other student or make it harder for him or her to maintain his or her ideals. Part of that is to respect the positions of persons, respect their perspective, work in a community that is considerate and sensitive, and ensure that we treat each other with respect. And as a batch, that's your first unit. And I boast of my batch 146. Long we have left college, do the calculation. We left college in 1984. In our WhatsApp group, we have 120 participants after 40 odd years, right? And so you need to understand the dynamics of your batch and why it is important to support each other rather than trying to in any way denigrate or bring down each other. The second to last stanza is it shouldn't be taken that we are walking around doing a checklist as to who is making it and who isn't. It is a reminder that you're here to get to read for a degree, a bachelor's degree, in most cases here. But it's not just that. You are being prepared to work with the young minds of this country. And I'm sure you don't want people who are not prepared to work with your mind or the minds of your children or your relatives. And so the institution has to assess. And there are times when there are persons who we recognize are not really fit for the profession. They are bright, people, they are creative people, innovative people. But this is not it. And so it is to recognize that if at some point that assessment is made, then we have to discuss it in terms of the way forward. And of course, to abide by the decision of the rectors and to accept it as final. I'm going to close with the college song, but before I get there, my message to you this afternoon, students in this orientation, is that I know that you might be still anxious. I help to answer the chats in the other evenings, and I'll do so at the end of this. I know there are issues not yet resolved, but they will all be resolved. And when you come in on Friday and you meet in your departments, any course that you have not selected, any timetable issues, you'll meet your department head in that space, and these will be resolved. You can walk up to student affairs or finance and resolve those. But you have to prepare yourself also for the fact that you're entering into a community that has its culture, that has its history, a community that has a legacy. You also have to recognize that you are being prepared for a profession, a noble profession, has its challenges, right? But a very satisfying profession. And so I want you to embrace the Mico. I want you to embrace the history. I want you to be involved in the houses. I want you to embrace the different cultures. Some of it might be a little different. Why do I have to go to a general assembly? Yes, we have to go because we have to listen to people speaking on different perspectives that we can reason and so on. It's not just going in to take notes and writing quiz. I just want to get that across. It's a total preparation, which can be fun and which is fun for many of our students. All right. So that is the message. The other element of that culture, and I'm going to play it, but not quite ready yet, my technical team, is the university college song. The song is a reminder of where we are coming from. It speaks to our founders. It speaks to the sacrifice they have made. It speaks to those things which we can emulate from those experiences. It speaks to how we operate here. And for those of us who have left, we shall long for the Mico once more. So this afternoon, I want to leave you with the college song. You'll get the word soon. You'll sing it at every function. And I really look forward to a batch that is going to be so united, so forward thinking, that will in fact do all that is in its power to raise the standard of this noble institution in academics, in conduct, in games, in innovation. I leave you with the university college song.
forefathers, honor and laud them, acclaim and revere. Take them for models of action and conduct, guides and inspirers throughout our career. Patience, endurance, unstinted devotion, passion and service for others adore. Never they yielded to forces opposing, stayed on their word for the slaves of the Lord. When we go forth from the walls of the Mico, forth to lead others as we have been led, see that we hold to ideals that are lofty, emulate Mico's illustrious bed. Onward forever, the children of the Mico, build them upon you, let shining and praise. Give them the witness of noble ambitions, labor as they did for God and the state. Life opens up with its vital decisions, trials, perplexity, struggle, and pain. See that we lose not the hopes and the visions, leave not the spirit of Mico in vain. Then for the future in faraway places, tenderly tied to our minds may restore voices familiar and friendly old faces, shouting and long for the Mico once more. With your mind, with your mind, with your mind, with your mind, with your heart, what your hands find to do, that's the way. Take the faith in your work and your faith. With your heart, with your heart.
Wow. And indeed, without question, one of, if not the best
Ready.
higher institution
No, man, I
song.
want to know she's ready. Okay.
Alright.
So we're changing your username to hers. Change it.
Mute, please. Mute. Background, mute, please. Yes. So I am saying again that this definitely is one of, in my opinion, the best, if not the best, college songs. And I know that there is not a Myconian born or naturalized who did not sing that last stanza of the song. With your might, with your might, with your might, what your hands find to do, that's the way, with a will in your work and your play. My absolute favorite line of the song is breathe not the spirit of the Michael in vain. I would like to thank you on behalf of all, sir, who listened, for taking us back and taking us through and situating us in the now of the Michael. I'm sure that if we were face to face, we would be having a standing ovation. Thank you very much, VP Sewell, on behalf of all who listened, and as a Myconian myself. I was so pleased. I got a little teary-eyed. It is very, very humbling in terms of bringing you to a place of recognizing the history, the journey, the legacy of the Michael, those who are beneficiaries of the thought that came from Lady Jane Michael. And those of us who gather, having walked through the halls of the Michael, we must not forget that history does have its place in who we are as a people. So those of you who listen, incoming students, again, you did hear a whole lot that you should settle on. I did tell you to take notes because there are things that you heard today that you're not likely to hear again presented the same way. You could hear VP Sewell's passion as he shared. And if you listened to the way he wove that story, he made it very real and very relatable. He spoke of his own experience here. If we were face to face, I would have a show of hands of Myconians. And let's note it, Myconians. We seldom say past students or old students. We proudly identify ourselves with the institution and we say we are Myconians. So welcome to you. As you walk through your 4-year journey, understand that we are here to support you in this journey. Understand that we are here to walk with you, to facilitate your success, and to foster the hope that brought you here. We are here to hone your ambitions, your abilities, and your capabilities. And we are here to build resilience. That's what community is about. And the beautiful thing about the teaching profession, and you did hear VP Sewell stressing that it is a profession, which means it has its own set of rules, its own language, its own expectations, its discipline, and its expectations of all those who would commit to the training and the character formation that is part of this profession. We're here. We're here. We understand that time has passed, but there's certain things that do not change. Honor, integrity, pride, a sense of community, and a sense of understanding who you are, whose you are, and why you exist. You are here because of a teacher. Whether the teacher was a graduate of this institution or not, you are here because some teacher influenced your thinking and made you feel that you too wanted to be part of the process of change. Well, you're here, a change agent. It is up to you to commit to ensuring that your time at the institution is well spent. You did hear VP Sewell talk about batches. I am a member of batch 151. But the beautiful thing about that is how we find in the larger community and the larger machinery that is the Mico, we find our smaller spaces of camaraderie, or smaller spaces of belonging, or smaller spaces of connectedness as we move through with our classmates, our program mates, and then our batchmates. There's that enduring and endearing sense of belonging, knowing that we came out of an institution in a particular time in terms of national history, a particular time in terms of global history, and how it is that you position yourself. It is going to be up to you. We are here to support you in who you will be individually and who you'll be as a batch. It is critical that you understand that when you come, you may come to make your own name known. But remember that you set the character and the memory of the batch. So remember, no man is an island. No man stands alone. We come individually and we leave holding hands together. If you enter the institution on the periphery, standing, looking on, from the outside, looking in, barely wanting to circle the pond, then that's what you'll end up doing, circling the pond. But there's so much more that you can gain by stepping into the water, cautiously if you must, but stepping into the water. And so the opportunities are there as you look at yourselves and the houses. You heard, sir, houses, sports day, Leslie Henry, Nathan, oops. Leslie Henriquez. No, I'm saying these things wrong. Somebody help me. The music competition and the speech and arts competition. Oh, forgive me, forgive me. The names have slipped me. But there's opportunity for you to distinguish yourselves by your abilities, your talents, and your giftings when you come and you walk through the gates of the Mico. We're not just concerned, however, about you walking through and setting your grades and establishing yourself as an individual hunting your first class honors. But we recognize too that many of you are parents coming in. Many of you are taking care of parents. Many of you have situations, life, as we say, life is lifing. Many of you have life that challenges you and situations that you must address. We recognize that your wellness, your emotional wellness, your psychosocial wellness are important to your success. And so joining us now is our university counselor, and we celebrate with Dr. Alexis, the newly minted PhD. And we congratulate you, Dr. Amelia Alexis, our college counselor, university college counselor, and she will come to talk with you about health and wellness and how it is that you navigate the institution, still holding yourself together, even though life pushes against you. Welcome, Doc. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Meredith. And as I was listening, I was saying to myself that I could have listened to what you were saying for the entire afternoon. It was very refreshing and equally interesting. This afternoon, I'll be presenting to you on health, mental health, wellness, self-advocacy. In addition, we'll be discussing some of the resources that we need to navigate higher education successfully from a psychosocial perspective. As was previously mentioned, I'm Amelia Alexis, the University College Counselor. My objective this afternoon is to address the matter of self-advocacy, wellness, health, mental health, the importance of each of those constructs, and how your engagement in them effectively will guide you as you go along the process. When we speak of health, wellness, mental health, oftentimes some of us use the terms interchangeably. However, here we'll use them very specific. Wellness is a conscious, deliberate process that requires the individual to become aware and make deliberate choices to promote them living a more fulfilling life, a more satisfying life. So, wellness is not a static state. It's not something that you do one time at a specific interval and then you said it's all over. I've achieved wellness. This is it. Now I'm well. Wellness in its purest form involves an individual assuming responsibility for their choices, behaviors, and lifestyle. Wellness calls on the person to really adapt to the role of being autonomous individuals, individuals that are fully aware that they have the capacity to self direction, and in the context of wellness, that they have strategically chosen to take part in activities that promote their well being. It is important to acknowledge that wellness is heavily influenced by the subjective physical, social, and familial environment that the person is in. So, in the context of you being university student, the school community itself plays a significant role. Now, it's critical to point out that wellness is not the absence of an illness, a mental illness, or a bodily illness. So we can have someone going around with an actual clinical diagnosis for a psychiatric condition, but the person is still experiencing wellness, and in some situations, maybe even experiencing a greater level of wellness than persons who are not officially, or they do not meet the requirement to be diagnosed with any form of psychological illness. Wellness, it represents a person who live their life with purpose. They are actively involved in satisfying work and social engagement. Uh, they have proactively taken care of their physical health as well as their environment, and they experience a level of subjective happiness. According to the World Health Organization, according to the World Health Organization, Health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of a disease. This definition of health proposes that health has not only been the absence of a disease, but it encompasses a wider scope of medical perspective. There's an inextricable association between health and wellness. However, I'll take the time to go through the different aspects of wellness, and we will see how it integrates into our overall life, our lifestyle, and ultimately impact our health, both mentally and physically. From a social perspective, us getting into a new environment, and for you as new students, you'll be coming in with persons from different social, economical, academical level of competence, perspective, opinion, cultures. And so it is incumbent on each of you to make a conscious decision to know how you're going to regulate yourself within this space. It's also important that you are mindful that not because differences exist among your peers does not automatically mean that these differences are positive and something that you should take on to yourself without judgment or without really assessing, is this for me? And in the context of the financial aspect, it's often that when persons come into contact with persons who are of varied social status, the persons who are presumed to be from greater affluence, many persons try to adopt different things in order to fit into their mold. In the context of college life, this can be very problematic, even though it transforms our overall life. From a financial perspective, and you're in a college space, you are encouraged to live within your means. You know your financial situation, and you're guided that your present financial reality does not speak to your long term financial status. It's a specific moment in time. This is what you have. You operate within your means. You seek to access the resources that are necessary proactively to facilitate you along the journey. For those of you who are from the lower socioeconomic status that may can't readily meet the financial obligation, yes, it's something that can add stress, but from a psychological perspective, it's good if we can see it from the perspective of I'm taking a step to get where I want to go. This is just one of the hurdles than to stress over it to the extent where it affects our health and academic performance. That would be self-defeating to why we are here. Considering the physical perspective of our wellness, it is important for us to take an active steps to maintain our physical health. Physical vitality is very important in order for us to demonstrate independent functioning as well as mental functioning. Emotional wellness. This can't be overstated. Coming into college, most of us, most of the persons in our intake batch are normally youths within 17 to 35 years. And so, the different elements that is required or the different social expectations. Some persons will be dorming. There are challenges that's associated with dorm life or adjusting to coming from your home to living with someone in a new space, new restriction and all that. Instead of seeing it from a perspective that you are being controlled or regulated or these differences must be avoided all to complete, you're encouraged to take a more proactive approach and a more rational approach to see that this is a part of the process. Your journey does not stop here. So you are not chained to the institution in terms of how you are to operate within it. So it's a conscious choice you are making every day in order to get you to where you want to go. spiritually, spiritual wellness is very important. And here we simply encourage persons to find meaning and purpose to their life and to connect in whatever way they seem fit to whatever power it is that they deem to be superior to them. From an intellectual perspective, the pursuit of knowledge can be a very demanding one. And a lot of students, when they enter into university life, they form the perception, whether directly, intentionally, or unintentionally, that they are not deserving to be here. I'm not deserving to be here. I don't think I can manage 4 years here. I am here because Tom wants me here. I'm here because my father wants me here. I do not really want to be here, but I'm trying to do something. The mind is very powerful. You are encouraged, irrespective of the reason why you are here. The fact is, you are here. And the only way to achieve your objectives successfully without inflicting self-inflicted wounds that serves no benefit to you is to really adopt a practical mindset to what you're in, and then you work through it progressively, utilizing all the resources that are at your disposal. From an occupational perspective, you're students, but students also have to be mindful of this aspect of human life and their functioning. As a student, there are certain requirements of you, even if you are not working. So, academic demand is different at the college level, is different from at the high school level. So, procrastination, doing nothing really, is not encouraged. You know your own strengths, you know your weaknesses, and so coming into college, you are encouraged. Please do not come and form associations that they are not beneficial to you or they are not mutually beneficial at all, or they will take away from your drive or passion with your input as well from why you are really here. Now, many persons in the context of their environment and social settings, they come in university and they spend the first 2 semesters desperately trying to fit in with whomever they identify as the standard of those that they need to be like. This is almost always a lose-lose situation, and it's not among any of the strategies known to promote wellness or positive mental health. You're here, persons are different. You have your own values. Change is often inevitable within this space. So there may be positive in the environment. There are generally positive things in the environment that you can see within yourself as to how changing some aspect of my thinking or belief or my approach, if I could improve them with these techniques, then they would be better off for me. And so I am choosing to engage in these activities. But there are also the practice of some persons just to come in and they are trying desperately to fit in with the group that is presumed to be more socially desirable. And so within the process, they have engaged in some activities that they either experience guilt or shame or resentment, self-resentment towards themselves and others, having partake in these activities just to fit in, and in some cases, after trying desperately to fit in, they are still rejected, right? You don't come here to fit in all the social circle. Really, you are here to fit in with the Mico values, and the Mico offering in the context of the overall institutional framework, not what your colleagues necessarily bring to the table, right? So, an holistic approach to your wellness is what you are encouraged to partake in. The Jamaican culture, we still have a stigma towards mental health and mental illness in particular, and persons with mental illness. So, mental illness is a human phenomenon. And so it affects lawyers, doctors, psychologists, counselors, nurses, students, human. It's a human phenomenon, right? And so, if for any reason you enter the institution and you're being treated for a mental illness, or you just know within yourself that you're struggling with a psychological disturbance, please do not give in to the culture of stigmatizing persons with mental illness to the extent where you operate in a self-defeating manner to not seek help. You're encouraged to seek help proactively, right? Also, if for any reason you have to study with a person who experience different form of psychological illness, please see them as human and not the disorder that they are experiencing. However, you are encouraged as students to know your limits and not to try to treat other person's mental illness, or you are friends with the person. You believe that because you're friends or associated with the person to a certain extent, you need to carry their struggles all the way to the extent that it overpowers you, it burdens you, and so it starts to impact you negatively and it starts to eat you down from within. And it reach either the stage where you have to end the relationship abruptly in a negative manner, or you reach to the stage where you might have to take time off from school, or you reach to the stage where you yourself might have to be treated for another form of mental illness. As batchmates, if there is someone you know or yourself that is struggling with a mental illness, the guidance and counseling unit is located by the University College Counseling Center. I'm sure you will know where once you get on campus. And there is also the medical center where we have our nurses and medical doctors to treat with these things. Carrying the load of another person in this context while navigating your pursuit for your academic progress is really not encouraged. Now, we know we have some persons that come here with the 4.0 GPA mindset. And I'm not going to tell anyone that it's not attainable and they don't have the capacity to. That's not for me to say. What I'll say is this: be kind to yourself, be fair to yourself, be reasonable, be practical. As persons pursuing higher education, we know most times we have different strengths. So take your grades for what they are worth. And if for any reason that you have failed a course, please do not see failure as final, right? Pick yourself up, identify the weakness, and move forward. You come here as a batch, but you're going to do the exams as individuals. Yes, there will be group project, and group project comes with its own stress, but it's a part of the process. Because when we go out there in the work world, you'll have to work with people. And so these complex interactions are necessary, and when embraced properly, they support growth. The pursuit of wellness is very important. However, oftentimes persons ask, is wellness the same as well-being or happiness? No, these things are really different phenomenon, And wellness distinguishes itself from the others by being an active pursuit. So it's a repetitive cycle. It demands you choosing it repeatedly. So each time you assess yourself and where you are, you are still choosing again. You're choosing yourself, you're choosing happiness, you're choosing your mental health, you're choosing your physical health, you're choosing your psychosocial health. You just want wellness for yourself. And within you trying to navigate that wellness, you also need to regulate your thoughts in regards to all the different components of wellness that I've previously mentioned. The benefits of pursuing wellness are significant. As I've said before, it increases life enjoyment, it enhances personal ability to achieve your goals. You are better equipped to manage the stressors of life. You are you are better enabled to take care of yourself as well as others that you love. And you are also more, especially on the emotional wellness table. When you are emotionally well, you are more able to engage in more complex interaction without being disrespectful, dismissive, selfish, or just totally mean to other person. Wellness will also stimulate that level of emotional maturity, and you will be able also to select and make more meaningful connections. So one of the significant distinction with wellness from mental illness is that wellness is a positive emotional, psychological, and social state of well being. This is in contrast to a mental illness that is a diagnosable condition that affects our thoughts, feelings, and behavior. It's imperative for us to know that from the standpoint of wellness, when we talk about mental wellness, it's something that it's a preventative approach. Yes, it can improve mental illness, it can improve our lower psychological symptoms and all of that, but when done properly and proactively, it serves as a preventative measures and it promotes resilience. This is in contrast to mental illness that really requires professional engagement, professional help whenever it's in its advanced stage. Now, coming into college, there are some indispensable mental health toolkits that you are encouraged to have. Each person's are each persons are encouraged to develop their personalized mental wellness toolkit. And why I say personalized, it is that the strategies that work for me may not necessarily work for you. There is hardly a strategy that we can say that work in all cases for all persons, right? So the first strategy that you are encouraged to have when you're in the space of the university college is a mindset that promotes your well-being and development. In most cases, that's a positive mindset. A mindset that is not rigid. A mindset in which you tell yourself that you are here to grow, you can flourish. Even if you have setback, it's there. Also, when it comes on to doing your exams or getting ready for your presentations or creating your lecture notes or lesson plans, you need to know how to interchange between your deliberative and your implementations mindset, because if you spend all your time deliberating, then you will cut short the time that you have really to implement what you want to get done. And so you will increase your exposure to psychological distress by elevating the level of cortisol that you will be opposed to when you come under that shock and realizing that you are running out of time. Now, within a college space, irrespective of whether you study locally or internationally, the Mico University College or any other university or community college that is on the island, it is indispensable for students to be able to represent themselves sufficiently to engage in meaningful and practical self advocacy. Self advocacy requires the individual, though, to know his or her rights, also to know what they need. And it involves making informed decisions and taking responsibility for the decisions that they make. Self advocacy is indispensable. Now, when you start out in a college, you may not know all the rules, but you need to be familiar with places like student services. So, to go there, to familiar with yourself with your rights, what is there for you, and all of that. Now, when you know these beforehand, when a situation happens, whether to you and a colleague or in the context of you doing a course, or there is some misunderstanding, that you can compose yourself properly in order to go and represent yourself and get the representation that you need appropriately without violating others or without giving up your rights in the pursuit of getting justice for yourself. Oftentimes, students go, they believe they were wrong, then they go to pursue what they deem as justice, but within that process, they commit an punishable offense that they will now have to answer to, that rarely puts even what they were fighting for initially on the back burner, right? Psychological factors that affect us when we are pursuing higher education. I said that already. Mindset. The second is our locus of control. Now, we have internal and external locus of control. We are to be guided that although we talk about advocacy, self direction, and all these wonderful things, and decision making skills, and being autonomous individual, the institution it has its own rules. And when we go against the rule, there are consequences for the rules. And there are some things in life that are within our control, and there are others that are not. We need to use wisdom as well as basic knowledge in order to differentiate between these two, and so that we can act appropriately. Now, coming to college in terms of encoded cognition, we know that how persons look can affect how they feel and in turn how they behave when they come in this space. So some persons may come in from whatever part of life in Jamaica, and they may dress a particular way, talk a particular way, behave a particular way, but there is a correct way, there's a dignifying way, right? And this way does not mean you are taking on for someone else. Now, if it is that you are here and your clothing is not what is the in thing that is in, you're encouraged to wear clean clothing, press them properly, run from your lane, use what you have, whether it's your hair, attention to nails, give proper attention to your hygiene. If you fail to take care of your hygiene and then your peers talk about it, don't call them brutal or harsh. You have a responsibility to yourself. And basically, just by you coming in and wanting to be an educator, you are nominating yourself that you are of the standard that given guidance and being nurtured, you can be guided to be one of those national models or mentor. That's what our teachers are, right? And you are a part of the great Mico legacy. So even if coming out of high school, you didn't correct those hygiene issues properly, please do not let that comes as something that will ultimately impact your exposure to elevated level of stress. Just address the issue as is right there. Persons also have an inability to manage stress properly. So they will be, for example, forming association, forming relationships, and they believe that during the first term in school, if I tell all my peers everything about me, all my sad stories, all my happy stories, everything that I have, everything that my family own, then they will be more supportive of me. But then they realize after sharing all those information, the information is weaponized and used against them, then this elevates their level to stress because you start feeling not wanted, neglected, not deserving to be here. You are encouraged. There are professionals here. The University College has resources to support our students. If you have to talk to someone and you can't deal with the information being in the public, you are unsure, you want everyone to know, then speak to a trained mental health professional that is in the capacity in the institution or someone that you can trust. You're encouraged to be self aware. We know we love to talk that we are all emotionally intelligent, but in the grand scheme of things, we know we can have different strengths and weaknesses in the different subcomponents of emotional intelligence. Self awareness is indispensable, and being self aware of our weaknesses, I'm encouraging that 100%. It's very easy for us to tap into our strengths, but we are encouraged to know the weaknesses and so we can mitigate them where they don't serve us or where the weaknesses can serve others if we improve on them so we can create a more pleasant experience for ourselves and others. You're encouraged to be assertive as well. Know your needs and go out respectfully. Managing relationships is indispensable in college life. If you are with a set of persons and you realize that this is not supporting your well-being, you are within your right to end the relationship meaningfully, talk about it, see what can be salvaged. If nothing is there, then you're supposed to be able to leave. Sticking it true to say that you started out and you made the commitment and you were there. Okay, dealing with all those psychological negative toll on your health. Okay, no, it's not okay. That's you not choosing well being to engage in your well being or promoting your individual wellness. That's you engaging in self sabotage. And I know many of you will say to you, but Miss, loyalty. I'm loyal. I'm a loyal person. If you're loyal to things that are not good for you or things that are not productive or things that are wrong, then that picture needs to be reviewed and actions need to be taken. Develop your communicating skills. Yes, you persons may say, this is how I talk. And then you find persons, they will go in classrooms and they may not have a positive communication with teachers in the high school and they take it to college and they think the world is against them. That does not promote wellness or well-being or a positive college experience. Know your worth, respect yourself, respect others, respect people for just being human. They don't need to have the things that you have. They don't need to be of the same financial standing. They don't need to look a certain way just by being human. Managing self is also expected. Accept responsibility for your growth, reflect on your actions and the processes that you have engaged in and how they have impacted you. Make modification as needed, demonstrating self compassion. If you believe you made an error, whether it's academically, socially, whatever, do not sit and wait for the person to forgive you. That's their choice. You have no control over it or the system. Be kind to yourself. It's not uncommon for persons to demonstrate overwhelming care, compassion for other persons, and they have demonstrated the total opposite for themselves. If you're struggling to manage your emotions, seek help. You can seek self help where it's not significant, or you can always talk to myself and other professionals in this space to help persons help going through these psychological disturbances. For example, if you're at the nurse center, feel referral. Now, college life do has its challenges, and if you're not naturally resilient, then sometimes we have to grow up and we have to sculpt these resilience. If you are here and you don't think you have a purpose, find a purpose. Find an internal factor that motivates you, not an external one. The external one changes with things that is outside of your control and negatively impact drive. Develop a social network that is mutually beneficial. Embrace change. Change is constant. So I'm not telling you not to be realistic, but try to be more of an optimist. But there are situations that may be bad, and you just rationally have to look at them that way. But looking forward as to how you move forward from that situation, adopting a more optimistic approach will be more beneficial. Problem solving skill is also very useful. Take time to improve on your problem solving skill if you don't think that you are good at it, and make sure that you set smart goals, because if your goals are not smart, when you realize that you can't achieve them the way you want to, then you are only adding yourself to the risk of exposure to psychological ill health. Before I leave, I just want to leave you with a reminder. You have earned your place at the Mico University College, and you are fully capable of handling the journey that lies ahead. Never forget that looking after your mental health is not a detour from your success, it is the very foundation of it. You're never alone on this campus. So breathe easy, deep if necessary. Trust your calling. And for those of you who are saying that it's not your calling and you were asked to be here, seize the opportunity. And remember that asking for help is your greatest superpower. Use it to your disposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alexis. Thank you very much for those words of encouragement and for the particular points that you raised, just reminding not just our students, but reminding us all about the whole issue of self-worth, self-advocacy, important things as we navigate a space, communication, building relationships, and being mindful of responsibility and the sense of responsibility that comes with great accountability or decisions that we make, recognizing that as we're navigating the space, empathy and compassion are important, and ultimately wise decisions. And as we move through, be kind to ourselves. Thank you again for sharing those words with us. And let me remind you, students, this is not the last time you will see or hear from Dr. Alexis. She did tell you well, she hasn't told you where to find her, but you will find where her office is as you have your tour on Friday. And I'm hoping that you will all make the effort to be present for the face-to-face engagement on Friday morning, 8 o'clock. We will meet for assembly, and then we will have the campus tour, and then you will be in your different departments. So once again, thank you, Doc. We're coming up to hear from our students. Now, I have to say this. I have come to redeem myself. And there's a beautiful thing about community where if you slip and you slide and you make mistakes, there are those who will gently guide you. So I turned quickly to my little pod in the sea at the Mico. I turned to my pod because I was flubbing with the names of the competitions, the talent competitions. And I sent a message say, remind me the names, remind me what the names are. And I got the reminder. So here I am to restate and to apologize also. So I spoke about the Nathan Brissett music competition. That is a biannual event. And then also there is the Leslie Henriquez speech competition, which comes through the liberal arts department. Listen, when that time comes, that will be the opportunity for you to show and to share that you're not just here to engage academically, but then you are more than a walking brain. You actually have abilities and talents that you will share when that time comes. So there it is. I have, I hope, redeemed myself, the Nathan Brissett competition and the Leslie Henriquez competition. And the beautiful thing about how we navigate space is that while you would have heard from the campus leadership and you're hearing from faculty members, having set that tone is one thing, but surviving this space does mean that you're going to have to find, as students coming in, you're going to have to find your peerage. You're going to have to find those who are walking like you from a different perspective and experiencing the institution and the life at the Mico from a different perspective. This is now the time for you to meet your guild representatives. So your guild representatives will now come to share with you about the guild. Now, before they come, I would like to submit and suggest to you that there are three vital resources that you must never neglect. I suggest that you use these three resources and you mark them as those things that will guide you as you navigate the difficult moments, the uncertain moments of the institution. You have the pledge and that VP Sewell read through, but you also have the student code of conduct and you have the undergraduate handbook. Therein lies the goals, the guidelines, the suggestions, and the steps that will help you should you choose to challenge a grade, should you choose to change your program, in the event that you're not sure what to do, you may think that your first stop is to ask your lecturers or your HOD. I am here suggesting and submitting to you that your student handbook is a critical resource for you to have. That is what we use to guide you. So it will behove you to ensure that you use that. Familiarize yourself with the code of conduct and the undergraduate handbook and ensure that when the time comes that you have to resort to using them, you are very familiar with what they say to support you and your success at the institution. Let me now invite the Guild of Students and their representatives to take the platform and to share with you as they have prepared. Welcome, students.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meredith, and welcome to everyone. Thank you, um, Vice President Sewell and all members of the academic staff for the opportunity to share with our colleagues at this time. Hi, everyone. Good to be with you all this evening. My name is Sean Thomas, and I'm your Guild President for the year 2026-2027. I am excited to meet all of you. I'm excited for our time together. I'm excited to represent you, to speak on your behalf. It is going to be a wonderful year, an exciting year. And as I love to share with people, it's going to be a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious time with all of you. And that, some of my friends would say that is so weird to say. But I'm indeed excited to be sharing with you this evening as it relates to the Guild of Students, who we are. With me today is my Communications and Technologies Director, Miss Kaylee Smith, and you will hear from her a little bit more. And I join with all the academic staff and members to encourage all of you, utilize the handbook. And there are so many things that was said by Dr. Alexis that, I concur with. And, I have her first thing the first Monday in the morning. And so don't worry about it. If you have challenges and issues, it is good to see her. And not only do you need to see her if you have challenges and issues, you can just, have a little conversation with her at any time. And I'm sure you'll be happy at the end of the session. I also crave your forgiveness. Many of us are currently on work and travel. It's our last couple of days. We are now packing and getting ready to head home to be back at our institution. So thank you so much again for the privilege. I'll just want to share quickly with you three things about who we are as a guild of students and what is our purpose here. One of the things that many persons tend to think is that the guild and administration are enemies, and that our purpose and role is to create divide, to make sure that the students protest and that everything that we want, that we must get it and it must be done. Now, um, this president does not necessarily take that role and or that route for this year, and I hope for years to come that the direction of the Guild of Students will be one of partnership. And so, yes, the Guild of Students is that group that represents not only a few, but the entire body of the student population of the Mico University College. And I must highlight that our representation goes to those students that are registered to the university college. All right. We do and we will make representations for students who have been enrolled in the college, but our major responsibility are for those students that have been um, have been registered. And so the guild and administration for this year especially, my intention is that we will work together, and that is how the guild is supposed to be. The guild and administration are partners in ensuring that the experience of all students is a positive one, a supportive one, and my top word, a successful one. And so while the guild represents the interests and the concerns of the students directly, and that is what we're going to be doing, we're going to be pushing to ensure that you are represented. And we're not going to just sit back and allow things to go array, and I guarantee you, the Michael University College, especially the staff and members, are not intended on making intentional in making anything go awry, because sometimes things don't go the way you plan it and all of that. But we're here to work together as a team, to work collaboratively, and to practice solutions that will benefit the wider student body. So that is what we are about. What you need to know as students and as colleagues is that your voice matters and your voice is very important. And so the guild serves as that bridge between the student and the administration. So when your concerns are raised and you have suggestions and you have challenges with anything that takes place, the guild of students is what makes that representation. I must tell you, you are the guild of students. The only thing is that we have a body that is called the Guild Council, where the students would have come together and through an election process would have elected a set of students that will be their direct liaison between administration and yourselves. And so it must be known that your voice matters. And that is one of the ways we will have meaningful change and impact when your voices are heard. And I must say this as I come down and give the reins to our communications and technologies director, that the heart of the Mico University College is that the students are successful. we're not talking about partial success, we're talking about full success. And so our partnership will focus on creating better opportunities, improving the students' experience, addressing challenges so that we build a stronger and better Mico community and Mico family. We have, or we may have different roles, but the goal is the same. And that is what I am thriving for and ensuring that all our goals are aligned and that students feel better. So just to share that with you and just to let you know that I am looking forward to having a grand time, with all of you. And I just hope that you will place your trust in us. And also, before Kaylee comes, I want you to make up your minds from now whether or not you will love to be a part of this representing body that represents all our colleagues in varying ways and in many different sectors. So please join us, become a part of the council. Once you are registered, you are automatically a member of the Guild of Students. And so we're looking forward to seeing all of you. May God continue to bless you all. And as we have a wonderful time, Kaylee will now go through and introduce to you all the members of the Guild Council. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas, and greetings to our Vice President, Mr. Sewell, and our moderator, Dr. Meredith. And welcome, my Conians. I'm Kaylee Smith. I'm a language and literature major, third year, and your communications and technology director for the Guild of Students for this academic year. So, I cannot start without saying that I'm beyond excited for this year, and I really hope that you are too. And not only do we have incredible initiatives prepared for this year, but we are just excited to see everybody back on campus, to see our incoming first years, and just to have fun, to create new memories, to enjoy the academic greatness that we're about to achieve together. So before we get into the Guild of Students, I just want to pause for a moment, and I'm urging everyone, please. I have here 2 flyers. One, it says Stay in the Know. So the Guild, we have recently launched a WhatsApp channel which aims to keep everything you need to know in one place. So we know that we get emails daily, and we hope to, ensure that everything you need to know, whether it's the emails, it's the events, everything will be in that WhatsApp channel. So if you want to stay up to date, if you want to keep current on what's new, please scan that QR code, get into the WhatsApp channel. To the right, you'd see our Instagram page, the Mico Guild. Just what? 1, 2, 3 little words, 3 little words. The Mico Guild, please join our Instagram. Will follow us on Instagram. Like the photos, share it with your friends, and engage with what we have to offer you this year. Now, let's go into our introduction. So as you would have just met, Sean Thomas, our Guild President, he has this quote here: kindness will take you further than shutting people out ever will. But the Guild President, his aim is to keep everybody connected and to ensure that the Guild is represented. All matters, he handles it and supervises it. Give me 1 second, let me just share the correct screen because I don't believe I'm on the correct PowerPoint. 1 second. So let me stop sharing and I'll get back. All right. Okay, dokes. Sean, if you're still with us, can you please share the correct screen because I'm not sure what's happening on my end. All right, I have it here. Sorry about that. Are you sharing? Okay, thank you so much. So you can go ahead to the second slide. Thank you. Yes, this is the correct one. My apologies for that. So as you can see here, Guild President Sean Thomas, his duties include he leads and supervises the Guild and Guild Council, and he represents the students and serves as the Chief Guild Spokesperson. So Sean, you can reach him at the Mico Guild at stu.themico.edu.jm. And here we have Monique, which is affectionately known as Madam Senior Lady. She is the Vice President of Academic Affairs and Special Projects. She oversees students' academic well-being and academic matters, plans and coordinates academic and special projects. So you can reach her as well by just sending an email. We also have a WhatsApp line, which is active, and some of you would have already been aware of that, reaching out to us at 466-4406. And we urge you, please, if you have any concerns, please do send us the WhatsApp message. Myself and the VP, next slide, please. Vice President of Student Services and Communications, we both monitor that WhatsApp. And he oversees students' welfare and social development. He coordinates student services, events, and employment opportunities as well. As you can see, get to know Chad. He's a vibes master, very helpful. And he goes by that quote, determination is the compass that guides us through the storms of adversity and leads us to the shores of success. Next slide, please. Sean D. Gale, Director of Finance. He manages the Guild's funds, financial records, and transactions, prepares a budget and financial reports. So when we talk about fundraisers, when we talk about ensuring that the initiatives are well sorted out, whether it comes to purchasing the things that we need, ensuring that we have enough money to support the different offices, that's Sean D. You can go to the next slide as well. And me, Kaylee Smith, I'm the Communications and Technology Director for this academic year. I manage the Guild communication, social media, branding, and technology. So when you go on the Instagram, when you go on the WhatsApp channel, when you get that reply on WhatsApp, that's me or my counterpart, Mr. Norris, VP of Communications. So I am the liaison between students and the University College administration. So feel free again, if you have any concerns, send me that WhatsApp message. Next slide, please. Chad Rooms, he's our spiritual coordinator. Very compassionate, easy to talk to. He promotes spiritual development and discipline among students and provides spiritual advice and guidance. So when you're talking about leading or devotion, that's Chad Rooms. You always see him leading devotion. He'll always be that kind person to talk to, that shoulder to lean on, sorry. Very welcoming, very friendly. So yeah, look out for Chad. Next slide, please. And Kristen Lovelace, she is the director of sports. So she oversees the sports activities and hosts captains, organizes competitions and sporting events. Get to know her. Always offering a helping hand. And if you know Kristen, you know she's the #1 cheerleader. I would always say that I'm the most talkative person on the guild. But when it comes to the loudest and the most vibrant, energetic person, that's Kristen. And she goes by the saying, walk by faith, not by sight. Literally, Kristen. Next slide, please. Commissioner of External Relations, Daniel Henry. He values relationships and he goes by the title The Builder. For him, decisions decide destiny, and every choice is a seed. Every seed carries the potential of a future harvest. And with Daniel, his position, Commissioner of External Relations, they build relationships with other organizations, other student organizations. So we're talking about the UE Mona Guild, we're talking about UTech Nights, yeah. Anytime we need to have any partnership with other student organizations, he's the one in charge of that because he handles external and media relations for the guild as well. Next slide, please. Rashanique Aston, she's his assistant. She works alongside the Commissioner of External Relations in handling external and media relations for the guild. Oh, Rashanique, she is just too bubbly, too energetic, always supportive. So when I tell you, you have literally the best skill this year. When you're looking for persons, supportive people, people that you can ask questions, you will know this already. Some of you would have already been engaging with us through the Batch 191 groups, through the WhatsApp channels, through personal messages, because we've already started the work. And we're just excited to, working more with you, working alongside you, and just seeing you this Friday as well. Next slide, please. And Jamila Duffus, you would have seen her earlier. She was the one, leading us in devotion. She is our Deputy Executive Secretary, and she manages Guild administration records and any official documents for the Guild, organizes meetings, correspondence, and minutes. So, burst of energy, that's Jamila. Oh, and a point to note, she's, part of foods and nutrition. So she loves to cook, but she loves the camera too. So you'd see her assisting the comms and technology office a lot because that's Jamila. She's in everything. Next slide, please. Desania Pinto, my Deputy Communications and Technology Director. She works alongside myself in handling Guild's communication and technology, loves a camera, and she was previously in charge of the sports Instagram page, the sports committee Instagram page. So if you have ever come across those lovely, vibrant videos, Desania was the person behind that. Next slide, please. And Eva Togman, get to know her, kind and supportive, loves event planning. And that is why she's the Deputy Director of Clubs and Societies. She works alongside the Director of Clubs and Societies to oversee recognized clubs and societies. So when you talk about planning events, which will be one of those coming up, the club launch, look out for that. And Eva is one of the persons behind it. And you would have also seen her in the Batch 191 group asking for persons to join her committee. Please, if you are interested in having a vibrant campus, reach out to Aniva. She's the person that will be facilitating that. Next slide, please. Rachel Brown. So we talk about fun and excitement. Oh, can't leave out the director of entertainment or on that. So when you're talking about party, when you're talking about social events, when you're talking about cultural and recreational activities, you have to talk about Rachel Brown. She is the Deputy Director of Entertainment, very approachable, hardworking, and a third-year language major, just like me. I have to pick up my department. So yes, she's the person behind almost every event that will be happening on campus this year. So look out for that too. Next slide, please. And the SciTech persons, if you're in SciTech, just drop some blue hearts in the YouTube comments because he's your faculty rep, Adriano Spence. So if you have any concerns within the faculty, if you have any issues with a grade, or if you just need somebody to talk to, Adriano is the person for you. He works with the dean of SciTech, and he represents students on faculty board. So he goes by the saying, you want good, you know that for run, so you know say, yeah, he's very hardworking. Next slide, please. Kasem Barker, my faculty, rep, humanities and liberal arts. So this is Kasem Barker. He is the interim faculty representative of Humanities and Liberal Arts. He represents students and their concerns within the best faculty ever. And if you're in HLA, just let me drop some orange hearts in the chat because Kasem will be the person that will liaise with the dean and represent students on faculty boards. So if you have any concerns, if you have any issues, Kasem is the person. Davia Trout, interim faculty representative of education. He represents students and their concerns within the education faculty. And as you can see, the color is orange. So, or yellow, orange, yellow, yellow, yellow. So if you are within the faculty of education, whether it be primary ed, whether it be special education, early childhood education, David Trout is your representative. He says he's a event planner and fun to be around, which is very true. Very funny at that. So I'm very sure that you will love him. Next slide, please. Kira Dakers. So now we reach the best part of it. Because, as Myconians, when it comes to sports day, we don't play. We're friends all year round. But when it comes down to sports day, yeah, we're rivals, but good rivalry, good rivalry. Kira Daker, she is the Arthur Grant House Captain. She will help with promoting unity and participation among house members, and she will encourage students to participate in the university college's house activities. So, Arthur Grant people, your color is green, and yeah, you might not know which house you're in as yet, but you will see the excitement out from early, starting September. So that will build up the momentum for you to want to be a part of Arthur Grant. Or next slide, please. Be a part of Bishop, the best house ever. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Bishopite, but Bishop is the color purple. And in charge of the Bishop house, or leading the Bishop house, I should say, is Akina Elliott. She is approachable, supportive, very sweet lady, and she will help with promoting unity and participation within the Bishop house. Sadly to say, we've been having a little bit of struggle over the recent years, not getting too close to first place, but Akina, she's gonna make the difference this year. And if Akina, if you're on the chat, just drop a message and let them know Bishop is gonna take the first place this year. Next slide, please. Leah Nemhard, Lushington House Captain. She leads the Blue House. And if you know Leah, Leah just bleeds blue. Bleeds blue. She believes that blue is always going to be on top, which is so not true. But with Leah, she will promote unity in the Lushington House and just ensure that everybody's participating. They're engaged, already starting the work too. So look out for some initiatives from Lushington House, and we'll see you at orientation on Friday because she has something exciting planned, even though you might not know what house you're in as yet. Next slide, please. Rogers House Captain, well, the interim Rogers House Captain, he's Justin Boland. Justin, you would have probably met him at the open enrollment day if you were present. He was there, puffing his chest. Yeah, Rogers House, Rogers House. So he already has the excitement ready. He believes that Rogers House is going to win again, which we highly doubt is going to happen. But we just have to, give him the win for now. Give him the win for now. But we'll see what will happen this sports day. Next slide, please. Michael Collins. He is the deputy Buxton House captain, and we heard about the legacy about the Buxton House. We heard about the Buxton House earlier today. And this Michael Collins, he is a biology major. He says he's proud to be a Buxtonian. But let's see what he can offer this house. Let's see if they can reach number one again, which again we highly doubt it because his bishop's here this year. But that is Michael. Next slide, please. And Shaquille Ingram, always laughing, chemistry major. He's the fourth year batch representative. So if anybody on this orientation right now is in fourth year, he's your interim fourth year batch rep. Please, if you have any questions regarding registration, any issues, don't hesitate at all to reach out to Shakwal. Next slide. Rashida Rose. Oh, you can see that smile. She's just so friendly, open, warm, energetic. And her quote right here, it makes me laugh every time. Reading is fun for the mental, fundamental. And this is something us language majors you'll hear us saying all the time. Reading is fun for the mental. Reading is fundamental. Please, guys, read your emails. Read as much as you can because that will help you. But yeah, she's the fourth year lady rep. If you have any questions, please read first before you reach out to Rashida. But she will always be open to helping. Next slide, please. And our third year representative, lady rep, Ashante Black, jovial and kind, full of life and energy. She was last year's Buxtonian assistant rep, Buxton Host assistant representative, yeah. But this year she's serving as the lady rep for third year. And she's gonna help with promoting unity across my batch, the third year batch 189. That is Ashanti Black. Next slide, please. And Deshaun Virgo, he's the interim third year batch rep who will also work alongside Ashanti in promoting unity across the batch with a, listen, if you know Deshaun, you will always laugh around him. You can never be serious. He goes by the name Mad Scientist because he's really mad, but in a good way, and with a great sense of humor. Next slide, please. And Floyd Ennis. I know the second year reps must be on this this YouTube live right now because Floyd is just so open and jovial, always willing to solve problems. So I know you must be here supporting him. He lives to make people laugh and he is beyond excited to working with his batch. Next slide, please. And that's it. The Guild of Students. And we go by the motto, student representation is our satisfaction. We look forward to seeing you this Friday. Some of us will be on campus, including myself. Please let us know when you're there and we look forward to meeting you. That's it from us.
Thank you very much, Miss Kaylee Smith. Now you see how it is that the vibe has changed, and there is no way that your colleagues and your peers could be sitting stone-faced because this clearly is going to be a very happy bunch in terms of the Guild Council. Everybody's happy, everybody loves to laugh. But I'm very pleased for you to have shared with us and introduced us to the Guild Council in your respective roles. And just to state that part of the Mico tradition and the formation of the Miconian rests in four core values: integrity, leadership, service to others, and excellence in performance. And just to know that the Guild Council are bastions of this particular virtue, the set of virtues, and certainly exemplars. So students, understand that when you see them, you are seeing individuals working through these four core values, and you're also encouraged to work through these four core values for your 4 years as you navigate your time here at the Mico. Part of community is the ripple effect of what happens with the immediate community and the extended community. And we have partners who are part of that external community, and we have been enjoying the sponsorship of those partners. Now we're going to hear from those partners. We have, I think, 2 or 3 video clips that will highlight who the sponsors are for our online or our remote our virtual orientation. So we will take those slides now or those videos now, introducing you to our sponsors. Sponsor time, sponsor time.
how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit Union. Building with your savings plan, buying your first car or higher education, financing for your very first home, teaching while you learn to grow. Look how far you've come, building your world with the JTA Cooperative Credit
Helping more teachers build their world. The JTA Cooperative Credit Union, serving more members, impacting lives positively.
Meet Dana. Dana is a teacher. She believes in saving and knows that a dollar saved is a dollar earned. But Dana isn't satisfied with the low returns she's getting. And with all their fees and charges, her savings appear to be going down, not up. Frustrated and disappointed, Dana shares her dilemma with her friend Simone. Why don't you join the JTA Credit Union, Simone suggests. It's the best credit union for teachers. No minimum balance charges, unlimited free account withdrawals and lodgements, lower interest rates on loans, and high interest on savings. Plus, each member also earns dividends. Wow, really? Dana is impressed. So, Dana became a member of the JTA Co-op Credit Union, and now she is happy because her savings are going in the right direction. Soon, she'll be able to further her studies, upgrade her car, buy a house, and finally take that well-deserved vacation. If you're a teacher, you won't find a better financial partner. Become a member of the JTA Co-op Credit Union. Visit jtacreditunion.com or call 876-618-1706 and start enjoying all the benefits you deserve.
All right. Do we have another? Or if not, then it seems that JTA Credit Union is our sponsor for today's virtual session. And I'd just like to say that from time to time, as the year unfolds, we will have opportunities and events where different sponsors will come in and will display what they have to offer and seek to involve you students in very meaningful financial decisions and very meaningful life-related decisions. So you will hear, as your guild council has shared, that they have a WhatsApp group, and they will ensure that whatever information there is that is going to be helpful for you to know and for you to have as you go through the year, it will be available there for you. Part of surviving is being part of surviving. So get yourself involved in things, houses, clubs, and societies. They're part of your formation. Why? Because when you go into a school to work, to teach, you're going to have to be part of some club, some society. And so this groundedness is important for you. So embrace it, it is going to be a wonderful time. Come with the right attitude. All right, so we're almost through. And right coming up just now, we have Matron Brown. Matron Brown from our health center. She's coming to talk with us about the services of the health center. So Matron, you can't see us, but we can see you. Welcome. And I'm going to ask you just to go ahead and share with us at this time.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Meredith, Mr. Sewell. All right. My name is Nurse Yvonne Brown, and I am the college nurse here at the Mico University. And you can find me at the Mico University Health Center. And the health center is located right beside the bookshop. All right. And there are two nurses here at the Mico, myself, and there's also Nurse Delrose Hart. All right. Now, you are welcome to visit us at the health department, and we are available from 7 in the morning to 5 p.m. All right, Mondays to Fridays. All right. I'm just going to let you know of some of the services that we offer. All right. So our clients are our students and our staff members. And clients can be seen for various different reasons by the nurse. All right. And these can range from lacerations, burns, falls, headache, pain, shortness of breath, cough, cold, If you need to have your dressings done, blood pressure check, your blood sugar checks, fainting spells, depression, panic attacks. If you are a seizure patient, you need to talk with us, you know. All right, so we also have a sick bay area at the health department. It's like a little or a little mini wellness room, and we have beds there, and students, staff members, you can use the area, especially if you need to be observed or if you just need to rest for a while. All right, so we encourage you to come if you just need to take a break from your desk or from your work or your class schedule, that sort of thing. Come over to the health department. All right, in addition to that, we also refer students to the counselor if you're emotionally compromised. We can encourage you and refer you to see the school counselor. And we can also encourage you to see the doctor if you're physically compromised as well. Mentioning the doctor or a doctor's visit, we have 2 doctors who work on a contractual basis for the Mico University. And we have Dr. Paul Wright, and he's here on a Monday morning from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. We also have Dr. Jacinth Wright, and she is available to see clients on a Wednesday in the afternoon from 2 to about 5 o'clock. All right. And we encourage you, if you can make your appointment beforehand, do that. All right. Now, if you see the doctor and you see the doctor for a general visit, which is like for a checkup or so, and you have your health card, be it a Mico University health card or another health card, you see the doctor using your health card. You don't pay additional cash. However, if you do not have a health card for whatever reason, there is a fee that you'd have to pay. All right. Now, we encourage students, because you get the Guardian Life health card, and we encourage you to apply for your health card online. All right. The sooner, the better. All right. Apply for your health card online. All right. And again, you are encouraged to make your appointments with us to see the doctor. The Earl Miller Hall, there is a nursing station at the Earl Miller Hall located at Arnold Road, and it is open 7 days a week from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. All right, and nurses available during those times. All right, so you can make contact with the nurse on duty at that nursing station 7 days a week. All right. The health card is important, and the sooner you apply for your health card, the quicker you'll get your health card. All right. When they are ready, you are usually notified via email and you collect it at the Student Services Department. All right. So the health card, it's used at the Mico Health Center. However, it is used at any health facility that accepts the health card, and the card is very beneficial. You don't only use your card to see the doctor. The card covers, like, for prescription, it wouldn't be 100%, probably like 80%. It covers for prescription, for dental, for optical, for the labs, for the x-rays, physiotherapy, etc. All right, so when you get your health card, you're encouraged to utilize some of the benefits on the card. All right, because you pay for the card, so you should, you know. By mouth medication. All right, so you're allowed to get limited by mouth medication from us. What you can get is like the DPH, which helps with flu-like symptoms and allergies. And I know sometimes persons will get bitten by the wasp or bees on campus, that sort of thing, you can get the DPH from us. However, we encourage students, please have your own little supply of over-the-counter medication, like for pain and for flu-like symptoms. You have to get your own supply. The bookshop I know and sell pain medication, so you're able to get some stuff from them. We're talking like Panadol, Advil, Pharmacold, and flu, the over-the-counter medications, all right? And if you're asthmatic, you ought to have your pump with you at all times, all right? Um, if you are on prescription medication, you should keep your medication close, all right? Um, you're able to get additional medical supplies from us, like for topical situations, for irritation and so forth, for ointments for pain, for sprain, that sort of thing. And we do dressings. You can come for dressings, all right? While you're on campus, if you are injured accidentally, for those who play sports or just generally if you're injured on campus, the health department should be made aware of it. We have an arrangement with the Medical Associates Hospital, and they're located at Tangerine Place in the Halfway Tree area. And arrangements can be made for emergency medical care through the health department. And just a reminder, there is usually an incident report form that has to be completed by the injured party, and this is really for record keeping, right? I'm just going to speak a little bit on your mandatory incoming school medical, the importance of it. It's important in that we want to know that you are medically fit for school. All right. And we don't want you to take your mandatory medical lightly. All incoming students are encouraged to print the form that you get your medical form that's sent to you in the package, and you get the verification slip. Both forms should be printed and taken to the medical doctor, and the doctor should, after completing the medical, stamp and sign both forms. All right. You're asked to take your immunization card with you to the doctor because the form is asking for that information. And usually lab work is involved because the medical is asking for lab work as well. All right. So don't be surprised if the doctor gives you a form to go to the lab to have some tests done. All right. The completed medical form, along with a copy of the immunization card, should be taken to the health department. All right. When we get that, we usually create a docket for you. So you're asked to complete a docket, and we place your medical in that. Your verification slip, we have the responsibility to forward that to the admissions department, student affairs admissions department. So they have on your file in admissions, and they can confirm if your medical was done. All right. So persons are being encouraged to do your medical, take your medical into the health department. Medicals have been coming in slowly, but we're hopeful and we're encouraging you. It's a mandatory medical, and you're being encouraged to do your medical. All right. And I just want to welcome you again to the Mico. And remember, your health is your wealth. All right. So I'm Nurse Brown, and I'm signing out. Thanks again for having me. Okay.
Thank you very much, Nurse Brown. Listen, listen, listen. So, if you have questions, please drop your questions in the YouTube chat, and there are persons who will answer your questions there. You see that quiet voice that nurse has and that beautiful smile? You will meet it when you go to the health center. I've popped in a few times, and it's just that the first thing is a smile. And then there's also Nurse Hart, who also has a very warm, welcoming smile. Nurse Hart, the nurse to the heart. But listen, nurse, matron, that and colleagues, I hope you heard. If the desk gets too much for you, there's a bed that you might borrow for a few minutes at the health center. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Matron. So everyone, you had questions. Some persons I know had questions about the medical. There you have it. Let us remember too, those persons who are at the hostel or the Errol Miller Hall, that issue. We could find out whether 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Is available to everyone, or is it just the ladies who are at the Errol Miller Hall? Also, let us remember what was said. You don't have to go all the way back to your family doctor in the country. You can be seen at the health center. If it is that you need to be referred for advanced care, that can also happen. Remember, however, you need to have your health card. So apply for your health card. You heard it from Matron. Ensure that you have it. It has great benefits. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about those benefits later on in time. Okay, it's 7 p.m. So is it 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or is it 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.? Clarify so that we can all be clear. Now we are at the end of the program, and I would like to thank you again for staying. I'd like to thank you for your participation. I understand us. I understand that the services from 7 to 7 are for those who are residents at the Errol Miller Hall. Thank you for the clarification. So we are going to be hearing at this time. And the main campus is 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you. So after 5, you'll not be able to see any of the medical practitioners, whether the doctor's right or Nurse Hart or Matron Brown. So we have heard, let us pay attention, and the information will again be made available to us. What a beautiful time we've had in terms of general information. I love it. I hope you really see that Mico knows and Mico cares, and we're going to keep it moving because we want it to be clearly understood that although we want to have graduate products excellence on the move, we want you also to ensure that we care about your holistic development. And so on camera with me, you have Mr. Nicholas Brown, who is the Student Services Supervisor. So I'm going to invite Mr. Brown now to come and share. And after he has done, then I will come to wrap up the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meredith. Let me project. Excellent. Yes, good afternoon again. Let me officially welcome our new students. Let me also acknowledge our Vice President, who is here with us, Sir Rudolph Sewell. Yes. So at the Mico, we pay particular attention to holistic development. And this means that, we expect that you will pursue and excel in, your academic programs of your choices. However, in addition to that, we want to, for you to understand that, we involve other activities such as music, drama, sports, clubs and society, and different outreach programs, right? My name is Nicholas Brown, and I am the supervisor for the Department of Student Services. And so you're seeing me on screen at the moment. Right beside me is Miss Patricia Pinto, and she's like a central midfielder to the department. Below me, you're seeing Cadine Bedward, who is also a clerical assistant at the department, and she is I would say a defensive midfielder as well, you know. So this is the student services team. You know, Miss Pinto is that staff that she has traits of discipline, and she's very resilient. And we have Miss Kadeen Bedward, who is soft spoken, and she's a student supporter. The Department of Student Services is that arm of the institution that deals with the administrative aspect. you know um, I'm going to dive into a few programs that we offer. And so we are responsible for career specialization and placement program. We deal with the processing and the distribution of the identification card. We are responsible for the volunteerism program. We deal with ushering, the health insurance. We are responsible for welfare, student work program. We also facilitate the work and travel, some aspect. We deal with JAMVAT as well. Clubs and society is under our portfolio. We also manage the General Assembly, the mentorship program, disability program. We are responsible for this new student orientation, and we also are responsible for the off-campus accommodation. No, I will not get into every services or program that we're responsible for this evening, but we'll focus on the ones that are core to your entrance. And so we'll be looking at the identification cards. And so all students must have their identification card to be recognized as a student of the institution. And this card bears the photograph, your ID number. It also has your program or your faculty and an expiration date. The card must be visible and is to be shown on request to any authorized officer of the university college. Now, we'll look at the importance and the benefit of the student identification card. All right, so the student identification card is mandatory for sitting examinations. So, you probably start with some courses that are, courses that does not require a final exam, but there are other courses that require final exam. And so, you are mandated to have your identification, your student identification card along with your permit, exam permit. So it's imperative that you get the card. The card also allow you access to different services. For instance, accessing the library services. You'll need your identification card for that. The card also provide discount at some merchants. So from time to time you'll find that different merchants will have special, and they'll request that if you have your student ID card, that you can get discounts on different products and services. So that's a benefit there. And also, having your student identification card will give you, discount, student rate on the Knoxford Express, and not just that, but also on the, JUTC bus as well. All right, so there's a registration process, there's a distribution process, and there's a, replacement process. So, we're looking at the registration process. The second week of September, we will have the setting up where the supplier will come on campus to take your photo and to allow you to, input the information that, is required for the card to be generated. So it is imperative that, your program, you know the faculty that you fall under, you are aware of the ID number, so that we have those information and we can, generate the card. Next, we have the distribution process. So once the card is generated, the supplier will send the card to us, and then we will reach out to you via email with, a time frame when you can actually pick up the card. Should, situation arise where you are, God forbid, you misplace your card or the card is stolen, you can replace a card. It normally comes at a cost. The first cost for the ID card though is included in your miscellaneous fee. But if you should lose the card, it comes at a small cost of 2,500 Jamaican. Next, we have the volunteerism program. All right, so the Mico Student Volunteerism Program is an initiative designed to engage the spirit of volunteerism, and the program aims to encourage community engagement, to develop your personal, and professional skills. It offer practical experience, because sometimes you go outside of your area of specialization, to acquire other skill set. And also it facilitates networking skills. So based on your experience, you probably, encounter a principal or, someone that probably can open up an opportunity for you. So those are some of the benefits that you get from the volunteerism program. Now, all undergraduate students are expected to conduct 45 hours of volunteerism service in order to be eligible for graduation as well as to obtain your degree. So, there's no limitation. So you can start it in your first year, you can do it in your second year, but we recommend that the earlier you get the hours done, the better it is for you. And so there's a process for you to apply for the volunteerism program. And the steps involved, you must first identify the organization in which you plan on doing the hours with. In the past, we would have limited to government entity or non-profitable organization, but now it's open where you can go to even a private company and get the hours done. Once you identify the organization in which you're doing the hours with, you must get some vital information. So you need the name of the organization, you need the address, you need the name of the person that the letter should be addressed to, and you need a job title for the person. So what we do is we generate a letter to inform the company that we are asking them to facilitate you to do the 45 hours, which is mandatory for you to graduate and to collect your degree. So once you visit the Mico website and you complete the Google form, the MSVP Google form with the information, we would now generate the letter, and then we will send the letter to you along with the timesheet and the evaluation forms. We normally provide two evaluation forms, one that the supervisor will use to assess you, and the other you will do your evaluation based on your experience. Right? And step 3, you would complete the required hours, which is the 45 hours, and return the form to the Department of Student Services. Now, after you do that, step 3 of the process, in third year, second semester, you will now be required to reserve the course. So it's actually a course, and it's professional enhancement volunteerism program. So once you catch third year, second semester, you must reserve the course so that you can get a grade. Otherwise, as I said earlier, you won't be able to graduate or to obtain your degree. All right, we'll also look at the health insurance. And again, our undergraduate, sorry, students are entitled to an health insurance card. And, this is covered under your miscellaneous fees. So a percentage of your miscellaneous fee goes toward the health insurance card. All right, to start the process, you will need to open a browser. It can be any browser, preferably Google Chrome. You will type the word Mico, no space, and you will select. And then you will complete the health insurance Google form that will pop up on that page. Once you complete the form and submit it to us, then we will send it off to the provider. And once the health card has been generated, then we'll send you an email to let you know when it is readily available for pickup. As Nurse would have mentioned earlier, there are some good benefits that comes with the health insurance card. So you're able to, visit the dentist. You can check on your eye. You're able to fill your prescription. I think it's an unlimited for the doctor visits, and there are other areas too in which you can benefit from. All right, next we look at the welfare program. And so we have a welfare program, very active, and this program was designed to provide financial assistance to students with essential school-related and personal need. It helps reduce financial challenges and it aid with, your educational expenses. However, there's a process and a protocol for everything, and we normally have an interview process just to check to ensure that, it's actually needy students or students with real challenges that need to, get access to the program. Now, the welfare program covers lunch and meals, it covers transportation assistance, medical and health expenses, it cover class material, it cover uniform and clothing needs, and also it covers examination fees, so it's something that they can benefit from if you are really in need. We also have another program, work and study program that, it provides the opportunity for you to work and earn at the same time. Right? So if you're having a challenge with, probably tuition challenge or, any other challenge, then, you can sign up for this program. The protocol is that you must be a registered student and you are expected to complete 200 hours of work experience for you to be paid. Right? The benefit is that, the payment can go towards your tuition, you know, it helps you to balance work and your academic studies, your management skills. It supports your career development and employability for when you're ready to work in go in the working environment. And also you can gain valuable work experience. So you learn some things that you have never been exposed to. Student Services is also responsible for the off-campus accommodation, and what we do is we recommend off-campus housing. So, there comes a time when, the institution, is unable to facilitate everyone with the on-campus boarding. And so we put mechanism in place where, we can aid, in providing accommodation off campus. And so you must be a registered student. You can visit the Mico website to apply. I think they're working on a few things now. So if you're unable to access the off-campus from the website, we ask that you send an email to student.services@themico.edu.jm so that we can, check out other off-campus opportunities for you. And so the Department of Student Services, our responsibility is that, once you sign up for this program, we will send you, the different off-campus partners that we have so you can, liaison with them and see which one works better for you based on location, based on cost, based on, what is it that they're offering. We also follow up on, the request to find out if you were successful, which one of the partners you went along with. We do that as well. And we also provide guidance where necessary. And that brings you to the end of my presentation. We know that the attention span is low based on our modern society. But I just want to leave this with you. Unlock opportunities, achieve your dream, and shape a brighter tomorrow. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. And so there we have it. We heard about the history and the culture of the Mico. We heard about tips for health and wellness and ensuring that we take care of our psychosocial well-being. And we also heard from Matron about the health services. You met your guild council, and you heard about what is there for you in terms of student life. And you just heard more from the coordinator of the student services. And of course, there'll be more information for you. And of course, we found out about what the health services are that are available to us here at the Mico. I'm going to dismiss you. And thank you very much for the time. Tomorrow, we have another virtual session. Tomorrow, Thursday, will be the fourth evening of our virtual orientation session. Before we go, let me just remind you of a few things. Remember, you're not alone. Remember, you're not alone. And as we were reminded by Dr. Alexis, be kind to yourself. So take it easy. Take it one day at a time as you enter, be yourself, and remember it is okay to ask for help. Miss Duffer started us off by grounding us in some counsel from the Holy Scriptures, where she shared with us about David's selection among his peers. And she said, even as David was anointed, you too are anointed. Stand in your moment and ensure that as you walk in the confidence that you belong here and you've earned a place here. And so in closing, let me also remind you of words from Proverbs 3, verses 5 to 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not on thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. God bless you. Have a good evening. Have a good morning. Have a good day tomorrow, and come back 5 o'clock for day 4. God bless you. Thank you.
Let us remember the names of our founders, honor and laud them, acclaim and revere. Take them for models of action and conduct, guides and inspirers throughout our career. Patience, endurance, and sainted devotion, passion and service for others adore. Never they yielded to forces opposing, stayed on their word for the slaves of the Lord. When we go forth from the walls of the Mico, forth to lead all live